Hi everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. Glissando, sliding from one note to the next. Now because the recorder doesn't have any holes, we are really able to slide all the way up and down the instrument. Whether you call it a glissando or a slide or a sweep or a pitch bend or anything else, they can be seen all over the world in all different kinds of music. Instruments such as the oud, the koto, the sitar, the ney, this is really built into the language of the instrument. I did a bit of digging on Google, and in Western classical music it seems that the first notated glissando was actually in 1627 in the Capriccio Stravaganze from Carlo Farina, and he was depicting all kinds of animal sounds. Now you can do a huge glissando throughout the whole instrument, or you can use it in subtle ways in your music. And today there are loads of compositions for the recorder that use it, and if you train your fingers to do this, it's just really helpful for your finger agility as well. So we're going to go through a few ways of practicing it. I think of glissando in two different ways, two different approaches. There is the roll and there is the pull. Now I'm going to get a bit closer to show you. The pull is what we would kind of naturally do, and I think of that as pulling your finger back from the hole. So you're kind of pulling it from here somewhere. For this to work, your fingers have to be really relaxed. You're almost just relaxing it off the hole. Try that. Just take a C fingering, 3 fingers, and just try relaxing your third finger and letting it kind of pull back from the hole. The other method is the roll. It's a bit more complicated. I'm kind of rolling my finger upwards, so the part of the hole that opens first is the far end. The advantage of this is that you keep contact with the instrument, but the disadvantage is that I feel like my finger's less relaxed, so that jump from closed to a bit open is a bit more stark. Now whether you're pulling or you're rolling your fingers from the instrument, there are actually different directions you can put your fingers in. I attribute this to Walter von Hauwe in his book The Modern Recorder Player Volume 3, go and get it. You can actually move your finger off the hole north, south, east and west. Let's try them. Each of these gives a very slightly different speed to your glissando, and maybe depending on your music you might hear like a southerly glissando and there a westerly one. So we've got the manner in which you're taking your fingers off the instrument and the direction, but really important to note is what order your fingers are going in. Say you want to go from to, they're not all going to roll off at the same time. If you're not careful about the order in which your fingers roll off the instrument, you could break the tone. Oh, also a very cool effect, but maybe not what you want. So it's worth going very slowly and deciding for yourself, first this finger, then this, then this, then this. Until now I've been speaking of ascending glissandos. These are much easier because you're taking fingers away. Going down, putting fingers back on your instrument, they are harder. You have to find the holes, you have to make contact with the instrument. I feel like it's easy to stagnate in a half hole. Before making a bit of a jump to the fully closed hole. So be aware of that. How do you do this? Just really careful time, attention, practice. How do we deal with changes in register, the breaks? Now the recorder has different registers. The first one is, and then and then, and moving between these registers is going to create an audible click. Now I'm lifting the following exercise from Walter's book, Modern Recorder Player Book 3. Thank you, Walter, for this. To get past the break between the first and the second register, so G and A on the alto, we're going to be looking at finger number 5. To experience that break, I want you to hold the recorder like this, fingers 4, 6 and 7. And then if we trill number 5, that change in tone colour is the switching between registers, and that's really audible. We are going to mask that register change with number 8, the knee. As we're glissandoing up to the top of this register, taking your left hand away, at the same time we're going to be adding the 2 last fingers and the knee, like this. While we've got 6, 7 and 8 closed, you can actually add number 5, propelling you into the second register without it being audible. When you're here, you can continue glissandoing up into the second register. It's really important to keep the airstream focused so that the pitch doesn't drop back down again. To bridge the second to the third register, that's your D to E, we're going to use this hole again. You're going to play D, close the end with your knee, add the fingers for E flat, and open this again, and that's going to bridge it. I'm going to try and do a 2-octave glissando for you now. Let's see. Same going back down, the E to E flat to knee, then to the D, then your knee away. When going down, this is what I do, bear with me. From the D, I add all the other fingers, add my knee, take away my left hand, then my right hand, take away my knee, and then glissando down from the F sharp, like this. Let's look at a couple of musical examples. A classic is Fragmente by Shinohara. I talk about this piece a lot because it's such a good piece and it has a lot of different techniques in it. You have this whole section here with long glissandos. Try not to stop on every note that you reach, like it's one continuous line. The important thing is to think, why did the composer write this? What effect did they want? How would you like to make it sound? So that you're not just playing it because it's written, but because you want to make a specific. Those are really conscious sliding between notes, but often we get kind of pitch bends and swells that just fit with the contours of the music. For example, in The Visitor of the Idyll by Isang, really beautiful piece, we have these pitch bends that just follow the dynamics, and you can bring them out a bit by relaxing and leaking your fingers. And the last really cool way of doing a glissando is with the labium of your instrument. And lastly, it doesn't have to be this big, contemporary, weird sounding technique. You can put little slides and glissandos in your music wherever you like. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face down here in the corner. Down here is a link to the Team Recorder webshop where you can order my album. In the description is a link to the Team Recorder Patreon where you can choose to support the channel. And up here is last week's video. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye!